Bottom line, no matter what, face everything and rise.
What is going on, CINC crew? John Marrone here, excited to be with you on another buyer conversion call. Woo! No better way to start the day with a little bit of some Pitbull there, and it's an amazing song, by the way. If you guys haven't heard it yet, it's a quick 2-minute one, but it's good. So I love it. Everybody's putting win into the chat. We're going to talk about how to win, right? We're going to talk about how to win at the deepest level. And what I want to dive into before we go into the skill set is always mindset. Right? Every time I do this, we talk about mindset so we can take advantage of the skill set. So I'm going to go through some stuff right now, and something that's been on my heart, and I think maybe some of you guys or all of you guys need to hear. And then we're going to go into objections. We're going to go into some role playing. We're going to go into real scripting. But what I want to talk about today is something called how to be lion-hearted. See, most of you guys, if you know me and follow me, I'm all about the wolf pack, right? Maybe some of you guys have been either following me on Instagram or my podcast or been to one of the CINC events where I talk about getting you guys into my wolf pack. But there's something called lion-hearted. And simply what that means is that you are brave and courageous. And this is my challenge for everybody in here, is to activate being lion-hearted as much as possible. Activate that lion heart day in and day out. Because being lion-hearted is the only way to create the success that you want, right? Being lion-hearted is the only way to lead and show people what it's like to overcome courage. See, my daughter, she's 3.5, we're going to be 4 here in May. And it's not that I tell her, hey, don't be scared, even though I did that at first, right? Parenting 101, try learning things on the fly. But it's not that, hey, don't be scared. It's letting her know it's okay to be scared, because that activates the habit of courage. That activates the habit of bravery. And that is what you want to be known for. You people that are in this room right now, or on this call right now, you all want to be known for someone that was brave, someone that was courageous. Well, the only way to be brave and the only way to be courageous is to activate that lion-heartedness, right? Is to go through fear. You can't have bravery or courageousness if you don't feel fear. And since fear is inevitable, it's how can we find fear faster, to activate the courage faster, to get to the success that we're trying to get to faster. This is the way our mind works, guys. Our mind works like this. It will overestimate what could go wrong. Hear me again. It will overestimate what can go wrong. And it discounts the cost of inaction. Write that down. Our mind is built to overestimate what can go wrong, and it discounts the cost of inaction. And the reason why is because the mind is built for survival, right? It's there to keep us safe. Cavemen and cavewomen, it was there to keep them safe from those lions, right? From the animals that were trying to attack them. And so the mind was wired to keep you safe, keep you in this comfort zone. Well, we're not cavemen and cavewomen anymore. So now we have to go back, and we have to truly fight against the way our mind has been built, in a way that the culture and the environment that you grew up in has trained you. And that's why it's so hard. So I want you to think about, where are you lacking bravery? Where are you lacking courage? And I know most of you guys are scared to pick up the phone, maybe scared to get on camera to do a video. But that's what's needed to get to where you want to go. So why are you avoiding it? Knowing that on the other side of that fear is bliss, is greatness. Why are you avoiding it? And it's usually because something that happened in our past, right? Fear is either based on a memory, or it's cultivated through something that somebody has said to us, right? Think about this. I was on Clubhouse yesterday, I think it was, or Saturday. We were talking about failure. And we had this big discussion on failure. There's a few thousand people in the room. And what people fail to recognize is that the fear of failure stems from when we were a kid. When you were a kid, the fear of failure was embedded in you. Let's rewind. Let's think about when you were middle school, elementary school, man, even high school. If you got an F, you had consequences, right? So you didn't want to fail. Your mind's like, don't fail because you're going to get an F. And then there's consequences when you fail. Or you raise your hand because you think you know the answer and you don't get it right. And now everybody is laughing at you, making fun of you. Right? You don't want to read in front of the class because you're afraid on how other people are going to judge you because maybe you're not the best reader. And all those moments of like, I can't face failure because there's consequences that aren't good. I can't face failure because people will laugh at me. People will judge me. All of that wiring was wrong. Because failure is just a process of elimination. Failure is a need. It's a necessity for success. I'll say it again. Failure is a necessity for success. So if we were built at a young age to go ahead and think failure was bad, we now have to go back and rewind and realize that the consequences in failure aren't as bad as it used to be when we were in school, right? So think about failure as being a process of elimination. I say that because courage. A lot of times we don't pick up the phone and call or we get on video because we're scared of how people are going to look at us and we're scared of failing. But if we can, in this moment, say, you know what? Why am I scared of something that I must go through in order to grow? Why am I scared of a necessity? And if you could truly start to rewire your mind that failure is actually a key to your growth, and that picking up the phone and bombing it, getting on camera and doing a horrible job is actually needed, would you do it more often? Write this down, every act of courage is laying something you value on the line for something you value even more. I'll say it one more time. Every act of courage is laying something you value on the line for something you value more. Okay. So can anybody hear me? People say they can't see me. You're not supposed to see me. So let's make sure you guys can hear me. Give me a yes. All right, cool. Perfect. All right. Awesome. Love it. All right. And once again, we're going to dive in. No, you guys should not see anything. When I pop up my screen, I'll probably show you guys the script, but I just want to talk to you guys about this for another few minutes. So someone says, can you please repeat it? Yes. Every act of courage is laying something you value on the line for something you value even more. And that's so powerful because today when we go over scripting, tomorrow when you're out there and you're making the calls, you have to activate that courage. You have to activate that bravery. Stop being afraid of the phone. Stop being afraid of what's going to happen on the other end of the line. Just get really good through these calls and through role playing so that the confidence obviously will go up. So guys, just know that failure is always bringing us back to when we were in school, right? When we're in school and we failed and there was consequences, or when kids made fun of us when we failed. But guess what? We're not there anymore. We're in a different part of our life. We're in a different season of our lives, which means we got to look at failure and fear differently. We have to make failure and fear our friend, not our enemy. We have to make failure and fear our friend, not our enemy. If you're scared to get on the phone because of whatever the reason is, realize that phone is your access to your success. That phone will be your access to that success in your business. Plain and simple. The phone is your access to success in your business. Don't be afraid of something that's a necessity, which is failure. So let's activate our lion hearts. Let's create this bravery and courage to become a habit, because that's what it is. Courage is a habit. Bravery is a skill. Courage is a habit and bravery is a skill. I'll say it one more time. We're going to dive into some opening line stuff. Courage is a habit and bravery is a skill. The best part about that is if bravery is a skill, we could start to get better at it. We can grow from it, right? We can create this massive skill of bravery. And courage is a habit because we have to do it on a daily basis. We have to activate and start to rewire our mind of what it's like to be courageous versus the consequences, what it used to look like. So guys, let's activate being lion-hearted today and every day to go ahead and reach those goals that you guys set out for 2021. Now, if you're with me, I want to know, did that hit home? If not, that's all good. I just want to make sure you guys are with me with this, because It is so crucial to what we're trying to get out of life in general. Perfect. I love it. All right. Just to clear my throat a little bit. And here's another thing I do want to talk about really quick is last night. Tom Brady. I'm sorry for anybody that's not a Brady fan or anybody that likes the Chiefs, but he's a champion. Right? Tom Brady's a champion 7 times. 7 times. You can't ignore that. What do I tell you about that? Because Tom Brady is only a champion because of what he does before the game starts. Tom Brady is only the champion that he is because of what he does before the game starts. He won the game before it started. Realize that. So you listening right now, are you winning the game of sales before it starts? Are you winning the game of sales before it starts? Tom Brady only has 7 championship rings, not because he's the best quarterback of all time skill-wise. It's because he mentally prepared before every single game better than everybody. He physically prepared, eats avocado ice cream, for God's sake. Like, come on now. He mentally and physically prepares better than everybody. Better than everybody. All right, let's see. It's 1 week. I want to start the call, but I can't. Okay, so we're going to dive into some objections. And the reason why I bring up Tom Brady is because you guys have to start to prepare better than everybody. You have to start getting into the mindset, getting into the understanding that you have to win before the battle starts. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I'm going to pull up. Let's see, my keynote. I got the spinning wheel of death over here. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to pull up my keynote. By the way, guys, if this is landing with you guys, like, share whatever we go over today with somebody else, right? And I would love to hear what landed, right? So message me on Instagram at Real John Marrone, at Real John Marrone. Last name's Marrone. And I want to know what lands. And the reason being is because every time I do these calls, which is every other Monday, if I don't do it, Kayla does. I want to know what lands so we can continue to hit these things out of the park for you guys. Okay? So I'm going to share my screen with you. So once again, let me know. Hit me up on Messenger, on Instagram, and let me know what resonated because that helps us create a better content for you guys. All right. So let's talk about how to win the battle before it starts. And I've done this before. Right? I've done this before for some of you guys. But we have to go over it again because I feel like it's still super important. So here's the 5 W's to win the game before it starts. Now I can't see. I can see the chat. Someone says, "What's my IG?" I will put it into the chat right now for you, so you could see it. There you go. So if you want my Instagram, someone just asked me. A bunch of people just asked me. I just put it into the chat. So take a look at it. You guys can go ahead and follow me and just let me know if you have any questions, obviously. But I want to hear what resonated as well. All right. So let's talk about this, and then we will be going over some objections that you guys personally have or challenges you guys personally have. But first, we got to win the game before it starts. Tom Brady wins the game before it starts. Here's the 5 W's to win the game before it starts. So first thing is, before you guys get into a dialing session, you have to figure out what the goal is. What's the goal? Don't just call for, I'm going to call for an hour. I'm going to call for 2 hours. You need to figure out what the goal is because we have something called reticulating activating system, RAS. So it's a part of our mind that when we tap into it, when we focus on it, it expands. Very quick and easy example. Most of us have bought a new car here before. Think about when you bought your new car. In the process of buying that, or when you actually bought it, were there more or less cars on a road that were the same exact car? Let's say you bought a Nissan Pathfinder. During the process of buying that Pathfinder, or right after you bought it, did you see more or less of those cars on the road? You saw more, right? Now, the reason being, it wasn't a coincidence. Everybody on here saw more of the cars that they bought. It's because you activated the RAS. And what that simply means is what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. So the reason why the goals are so important is because in order to live life by design, in order to hit your goals at an all-time high, you got to be success conscious. You got to be more intentional. So what are the goals? What are the goals that you have before every dialing session? And I would love to know contacts and appointments set. I don't really care about call time. I don't care about how many dials as much as I do about contacted and appointment set. Because your mind wants to go ahead and release a happy hormone. If you say it's to call 100 people, well, you'll burn through all the dials just to hit 100 people of dialing so that your mind subconsciously, without you realizing it, can release a happy hormone of, oop, I did it, 100 dials. But you're dialing not to call people, just to call people. You're dialing to contact and set an appointment, right? So first W, figure out what the goals are. Put it in front of you, not behind you. Put it in front of you. That's another big key. Another big key. Like right now, I'm looking at my vision board, right? Every day, looking at it. I got to put it up on a wall. It's just laying there right now against the thing because I'm redecorating my office. But still, it's there. I see it every day. Next is why. I don't know if anybody told you, but calling, as much as you're going to be calling, it's not as sexy as you may think, right? Calling for hours every single week. It's not as sexy as you think. Some people love it, but a very small portion of those people. And so you got to figure out why. Why are you going to continue to make these dials over and over again? So figure out that meaning. I won't dive so deep into this, but sometimes our meaning, we don't need to tap into that deep rooted why. I want you to tap into a momentary meaning. A momentary meaning. So in the next 90 days, what is a goal that you have professionally? What's a goal that you have that takes income? And you tap into that goal. And not just what the goal is, but the emotion behind it. So we always talk about in our script, 3 whys deep. So let's say your goal is to make $60,000 in the next 90 days. Then ask yourself, why is that important? Okay. Then you ask yourself, who will that impact? Then you ask yourself, why is it important to impact that person? Okay. Why is my goal 60,000? Who will it impact? Even if it's you, why is it important for that person or that situation to be impacted? The next one is where? Sales journal. Let's go back to football here. When I talk about Tom Brady, preps better than everybody. What does he do on Monday after he not wins the Super Bowl, but wins the game on Sundays? He goes and he watches film. Are you watching film? Are you watching film of what you were doing? Because if you're not watching film, how can you have the awareness, which is the number one key, the most successful people in the world? How can you have the awareness of what you need to do better, what you did well that you need to just continue to amplify? You're not going to be able to pivot fast enough. Have a sales journal, guys. When you're talking to people, hey, I had bad energy. Man, I didn't stand up. I have this objection I just have trouble overcoming. All right, I blew the opening line. I didn't ask for the business. Having that awareness will start to separate you from who you were yesterday, day in and day out. Therefore, exponentially growing your skill set to an all-time high, which will then cultivate the success that you are driving for. Okay, sales journal. The next is wow, state energy. Energy is so important. Energy wins. Energy wins 100 times out of 100. And people really undervalue and underestimate energy. So if you're dialing sitting down, stand up. If you're dialing sitting down, I'll say it again, stand up. Your feet need to be on the ground. Posture needs to be up in order for you to have great energy. And it's not the person on call 1 with energy that wins. It's the person on call 101 with the highest energy wins. You have to activate that energy that can cultivate that success. Here's the other great thing about energy. It creates tonality and empathy. And that in itself is a huge piece to winning the game. Don't want to talk like this when you're on the phone talking to people. People won't want to work with you. I mean, you guys probably just went ahead and some of you guys were like, I just need to get off this right now. Just in a quick 6 seconds, I talk like that, right? You got to have great energy. You don't need to be yelling, right? but you need to have great energy to create a better tonality, because tonality is such an important part to your sales numbers. You have to create better tonality. Energy would do that. Now, the last W is winning, which means confidence. If I'm on this call right now and I have, let's just say you guys are on my team, and I got Sarah on my team and I got Michael on my team. Well, let's say Sarah is very confident, like boop, beyond confident. I'm like, all right, but maybe her skill set's not that good. Now I got Michael over here, and now Michael, great skill set, but man, this guy has no conviction in the way he talks. Who's going to win? Michael with no confidence and high skill, or Sarah with okay skill and high confidence? Who will win? Sarah or Michael? Put it into the chat. I'm really curious. Who do you think will win? Sarah. Yes. Sarah, if you like to see your name, go ahead and definitely screenshot that and put that put that on IG, put that on whatever platforms you're on. Yeah, Sarah will win. So, do you have the conviction that creates a conversion? This is doing massive things for my ego. I love it. Do you have the conviction that creates a conversion? You know, when I stand up on stages and I speak, I may or may not have a better message than the next guy. But I know for damn sure I have better energy and way more conviction about what I'm speaking on. So when I have conviction, who's going to be listening? The audience. They're going to be connected. They're going to be engaged. So that's why it's so important for you guys to have this conviction and confidence. And it only happens if you guys start to practice. Look, we have 405 people on this call right now. And if I were to take a poll and I said, all right, who here role plays at least twice a week? This is a guarantee. If I say at least twice a week or more, out of the 405, there would probably be 10% of people on here. That's it. 10% of people that role play at least twice a week. How do I know this? Because we've done a conversion day for 3.5 years with over now 7,000 to 8,000 real estate agents. And our conversion rate is 33%, by the way, which is insane, but it's beautiful to see every time we do it. And every time I ask this question, it's 10% of the room. It's 10% of the room. And so why do I say that? So team Marrone, probably Marrone. I don't think it's Marrone. It's like my last name. It's Marrone. People call it Marrone, but team Marrone says that they do it every day. So that's what I'm talking about, right? You have to, if you write this down, if you want to increase your pay, increase your role play. If you want to increase your pay, increase your role play. Tom Brady practices all the time, does he not? Does he or does he not practice all the time? And guess what? The dude has 7 rings. And guess what he's going to do in a few months? He's going to get back and he's going to practice every day, practice every day. So I don't care if you're on this call right now and you're dominating it in your office. I don't care if you're dominating it in your market. If you stop role playing now, it's time for those people who never stop to catch up to you. Never stop role playing. I don't care how great you think you are. You can always be better. And that little bit of better can create a 5% conversion rate, which will bring you that 6, 7, 10, 100, whatever it is, percent more into your sales. If you just dedicate 3 days, 4 days, my opinion, 5 days a week, 20 minutes a day, you could find it. I promise you. Take 20 minutes instead of playing on Facebook, role play. Do your goals mean that much to you? Oh, but I'm busy. No. You could find 20 minutes a day. Stop asking why not and ask how. Stop asking, oh, I can't do it because of this. Find a way. If you don't have a role play partner, go on Facebook. I'm sure there's plenty of people in many different groups, from the CINC group to all the other Facebook groups of real estate agents out there. You're going to find somebody. You will find somebody. So guys, confidence only comes, conviction only comes when you practice over and over again. Why is Tom Brady so confident? It's because he practiced better than anybody. Take that mindset, take that physical concept of role playing, practicing, and be the best. Be the best. You're not just going to be the best by practicing on money. All right. So those are the 5 W's to win the game before it starts. Now, what I want to do is we have 30 minutes. We have 400 people on this call. I'm going to look at a Q&A here. I'm going to stop my share so I can see the Q&A. I'm going to go over some of these Q&As, and then we're going to go ahead and answer any questions you have. Now, when we talk about Q&A, guys, this is for everything. Mindset shift, productivity shifts, whatever it might be. Objections. All right. So client says they're just looking and not serious. I'm just browsing. Guys, the opening line is built for that. I'm going to show you the opening line. I'm just going to pull it up for you. This opening line is the reason why our ability to build rapport through this script is so good. So here it is. Hey, this is John with the home search site. I know you're looking over in Dallas at some homes. Just curious. Are you looking to make a move in the next 3 to 6 months, or are you just browsing? I know the objection is going to be just browsing, and so do you guys. So because of that, I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to bring it up to them. And now when I give them their objection, their wall comes down. Now you have the opportunity to build rapport. They say just browsing. Perfect. Exactly what the site is for. So while I have you, what's prompting you to browse? Right? Very non-intimidating. So I'll leave this up for another minute or two because I want to go through a lot of objections and I can't see the Q&A if this is up. But I'll say it again. And when I say this, I'm not, hey, this is John with the home search site. I know you're looking in Dallas at some homes. I'm just curious. I'm not doing it that way. There's tonality, right? There's empathy. And I can close my eyes and never look at this and have tonality and empathy because I practice it over and over and over again. Hey, this is John with the home search site. I know you're looking over in Dallas at some homes. You're just curious. You looking to make a move in the next few months? Or are you just browsing? Yeah, John, I'm just browsing right now. Perfect. That's exactly what the site is for. Hey, so while I have you, what's prompting you to browse? Do you hear the tonality? Do you hear the voice fluctuation? Do you hear the pauses? You can get really good, guys, at doing that in your own way, right? Your own flavor, only if you practice. You should be doing the opening line every day, every day, every day. This should be something like clockwork. I'm going to stop my share. So I know we had a few. Hold on, there we go. We had a few people ask that question, so I wanted to pop that up. So let's see what else we got. How do I handle objections of buyers who want to wait until the market cools down? We'll talk about that in a second. Best approach for just looking. Boom, we already went over that. All right, here's another good one. I already have an agent. First off, don't ask if they have an agent. That's step one. Step two, if they have an agent, here's the objection handler. All right, so Mike asked that question. Mike says, man, I'm ready to work with somebody. I have an agent. Oh, hey, completely understand, Mike. Hey, let me ask you a question, though. If I were to find something that checked off all your boxes and it wasn't on the market yet, do you want me to send that on over to you? What's Mike going to say? Yeah, absolutely, man. Send it over to me. And then I say, perfect. I don't want to send you a bunch of useless emails. I know that we both get enough of those. So what are those boxes that you're trying to check off? And then he says 4 bedrooms, this, that, whatever he says. Now I have a what to go into a why. He says 4 bedrooms. Perfect. So while I put this in here, tell me, Mike, why is 4 bedrooms so important to you? And then you listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. I'll say it again. Listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. Okay. So that's, I have an agent. So hopefully that helped. Let's see. My biggest challenge is getting an appointment with people. Here's another thing, guys. Here's something about closing. Closing is not a technique. It's an attitude. Closing is not a technique. It's an attitude. Do you have the attitude to close? Do you truly have an attitude to close? And that's what you have to look at. Closing is a confidence with conviction, which is an attitude, not a technique. Now, there are tons of techniques out there, but the techniques don't work without the attitude, okay? So hopefully that helps us see. Liz says, objection, people who say they're just browsing and don't want to talk. So there you go. once again, 90% of these questions out here are just browsing. So that hopefully helped. The site made me put in my info to look at homes. They say all that before I can get to what's prompting you to browse. Right. So, okay. So Liz, they say, if I say, my opening line, they say, I'm just browsing. The site made me put in my info to look at homes. Then you say, awesome. So why were you looking at homes? Right? What's prompting you to look at homes? Liz, they just gave you an opportunity to say, perfect. Well, that's exactly what our site is for. So what's prompting you to look at homes? If they say I had to put in my info to look at homes, very simple. Perfect. That's exactly what our site is for. But what's prompting you to look at homes? And if they say, I don't know, I was just curious. Here we go. A-B question. A-B question. Okay. And what I mean by A-B question is if you can't pull anything out of people, you A-B question them by asking one or two. For example, I don't know. I'm just looking right now. And if they're pushing back, they're pushing back. You say, okay, hey, look, let me just get a little bit more detail. So you're looking for a 3 or 4 bedroom? Probably 4. Okay, interesting. So why 4 bedrooms? A-B question and get them to open up. Let's see. What's the best way to break the ice with a new lead for a brand new agent? That opening line right there, Brian. Hopefully that helped. My man Adam says, I'm here to build a routine of role-playing, scripting objections. Yes, Adam, you got to make that a priority. You got to make it a priority. Guys, role-playing has to be a priority. Role-playing has to be that $1 million appointment. Stop telling me that you don't have time for it. If you make it a priority and you say this is a $1 million appointment, like a real $1 million appointment, so you could actually get the $1 million appointment, it'll happen more often than not. Let's see. I'm just going through here some more questions. I've been on calls for 2 weeks. I've made some really good connections. Got what they're looking for. Most people are just browsing. I'm not getting an appointment yet. Not sure what I'm doing wrong. I'm super happy and have good energy. I'm not an agent, but an ISA. So Sarah, hopefully that opening line helps, right? Here's the thing, guys. Stop being, I hate to say it, but I don't hate to say it, glorified Applebee's servers. Okay. Mike, you asked where I'm reading them from. There's a Q&A. That's where I'm reading those questions from. So you have to stop being glorified Applebee's servers. Stop saying how many bedroom, how many bath, what location. Don't be like every other agent out there. When they tell you how many bedroom, you stop and you stay in the pocket. Interesting. Why 4 bedrooms? What would that mean for you to get 4 bedrooms? Right? What's important about this location? Stay in the pocket and truly get there. Get there from 3 Ys deep for every what? 3 Ys for every what? That's why this entire thing works so well. It's we go 3 Ys deep for every what? I'm saying it one more time. Every time they give you a what, go 3 why questions deep. And then listen to understand. Don't listen to reply. So it says, where do I find the scripts? So if you've come to a conversion day or a CINC, we could send them to you. But we have a whole slew of scripts and objection handlers when you guys come to a conversion day or CINC. Our next CINC is next week. Yeah, next week we're sold out. And then in March, we'll be in Atlanta. We're sold out. But we have March. And after March, we have, I think the next one's going to be in Phoenix. But here's the thing. If you guys want to come to a live event, very simple. Go to cincommunity.com and you'll see all the live events. All right, let's go through some more questions here. She's Tammy says, okay, hey, message me on IG if you want me to go ahead and help you. Just message me on IG. It's the easiest way to get a hold of me, but I can go ahead and answer any other questions you have, Tammy. Anybody else? How to get folks to pick up the phone when I call? Just keep getting voicemail. Well, I can't make people pick up the phone for you, but what I would say is this: track when you're calling. If you're calling the same time every single day, you got to change it up. Okay, you got to change it up. Also, if you're leaving voicemails, that's the first no-no. Don't leave voicemails. So don't leave voicemails and don't call the same time every day to the same leads. Let's see. Never leave a voicemail. Good. Some people say it's not me. So Michelle, if they say it's not me, are you saying, here's actually a great question here, because a lot of people were saying their name, right? Hey, Michelle, this is John with the home search site. I do not want you to say their name. I do not want you to say their name when you call. What's our mind meant to do? We talked about this earlier. Our mind is meant to keep us safe. So if our mind is meant to keep us safe and we hear somebody trying to quote unquote sell us, our mind, this is exactly what happens. I'll kind of break it down for you with the physiology and the science behind it all. So our mind feels fear. It sends a signal to our nervous system. Our nervous system sends a signal back to our brain to create a way to keep us safe. And that way to keep us safe is an excuse. Well, if we give them the excuse of, hey, John, that's an excuse right there. Nope, this isn't John. How many times you get a call from bill collector and they said your name, or a telemarketer and they say your name, like, nope, that's not him, or nope, that's not me. You don't even think about it anymore. You just do it, right? Because your mind is sending a signal to your nervous system saying fear, 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 protect yourself, which is find a way to get out of this very easily. You said their name. They could just say that's not them. So don't say their name. Let's see. They say they signed up to view neighbor's house. Okay, so this one, if they signed up to view their neighbor's house, that's for sale, not interested in buying. You just say, okay, perfect. So tell me a little bit more about your home. How long have you lived there for? I would never get off the phone after one excuse. Please, like take this into the heart. Like stop getting off the phone when somebody gives you an excuse. Their excuse is nothing but fear wrapped in words. That's it. Keep digging. Keep digging. Keep digging, okay? You got a hold of them. You got a hold of them. Most of the time, they're just lying to you. So you got to break through that. They're lying to you because of fear. Let's see. I'm just going through these really quick. And by the way, guys, if you listen to podcasts while I go through these, my podcast, if you guys looking for actionable tools to be better today than you were yesterday, you guys could check it out. It's Power of Progression. Power of Progression, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes. If you guys want to check out my podcast, once again, Power of Progression. All right, let's see. I'm just going through these questions here. All right, here we go. If you can't get someone on the phone, do you start video texting prospects? That's a great question. I love video text. Yeah. So if you can't get them on the phone, definitely send a video text. BombBomb's a great tool for that right now. There's probably many other ones, but video texts are great. We have a great AI system too. So if you're not set up with our AI, we're hopefully going to get some video in there soon. Right now, it's just regular text. Make sure you get in there and definitely get the AI that we have. The scripts that are created are from us, and we're working on them every day actually Friday for 2 hours. We work on them to get any kinks out because obviously there's going to be kinks. Let's see. You never say their names. How do you address them? Especially when they ask, how did you get my info? All right. So that's a good question, Bobby. So I never say their name. How do I address them? I don't bring up their name, right? Maybe at the end I do. All right, Bobby. So great talking to you. Right. Maybe at the end, but there's no reason. Oh, but people like to hear their name. Yeah. They like to hear their name from people that they know, they like, and they trust. If you don't get the opportunities for them to know you, like you, or trust you, it doesn't make a difference. Okay. It doesn't make a difference. So if they ask, how'd you get my info? It's simple. You just tell them, well, it looks like here you were looking at some homes and you signed up online to look at some property. So tell me, what were you looking for? 3 or 4 bedroom? Stop being so scared if they say, how'd you get my info? Tell them how you got their info. It looks like you're looking at some properties. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh, okay. No big deal. So we got an email address of john@gmail.com we're sending properties to. Is that your email? No, yes, whatever the case is. So let me ask you something. Have you thought about making a move in the next several months? Tell me about your current situation. Someone said, what's my podcast? I'll put it in here for you. Hold on. There you go. So I put the podcast name into the chat. So I know I had a few people ask me again. Power of progression. Let's see. Sarah says, I work in Boston. Consumers here sense bull S. I don't know if I can say that. I'm from Jersey, so I normally would. Very fast and hang up immediately. Once they say just browsing, how would you connect? So look, I'm from Jersey, Sarah, right? So how would you connect with much more direct New England, Bostonian, New Yorker consumer? Energy is one thing, right? Energy is one thing. I do it the same exact way, right? The same way. If they say just browsing, perfect. So why happy? What's prompting you to browse? I'm just having higher energy. We use this like, oh, they're these type of people, so it won't work. Guys, sales, there's a science and there's an art. Yes, there is some fluctuation with the type of personality that it is, 1000%. But the basics are the basics, right? The details are the details. So there are some small iterations there. So it's definitely most of the time now us that's putting that perspective on things. So if you work in Boston, throw in your Boston accent, right? That's number one. That's familiarity for some people. And stop putting yourself in your consumer shoes because you don't know. So I would say, how would you connect with them with much more direct? The same exact way. Say, don't change it. Don't change it, but have better energy, right? Be a little bit faster. Those are the difference. If I'm talking to somebody in Lower Alabama, my Lower Alabama crew out there, I'm talking maybe a little bit slower, right? A little bit softer. Now my tonality's still there, but I'm just a little bit softer. You know, if I'm talking to somebody from the South, I'm not going to be as high energy like I'm talking to somebody from Boston. Be a little bit softer, but I'm still having great tonality. My energy's from within. It's not without, right? My energy is within. It's not an out. What I mean is my energy is within. So my tonality can go up or down, or empathy or elongated words and fluctuations, depending on who I'm talking to. I don't need to be loud for my energy to be high, right? My energy can be high without me being loud. But if I'm talking to somebody on the East Coast, I'm going to be a little bit louder because that's how they are. So hopefully that helped. New Englanders do not like to feel like they're being sold. Even the energy thing came across salesy and puts a consumer on defense. Sarah, that's a limited belief, and I would love to have this conversation because that is a limited belief right there, right? And the reason being is because you feel that way, right? More than likely. So if we feel like we don't like to be sold, which a lot of us don't, right? Then we're going to put that on somebody else. So we have to get rid of that, right? Even the energy comes off across as salesy. That's because you haven't created the confidence or skill set to make it seem organic. So if it comes off salesy, it's because more than likely you haven't created the skill set to make it more organic. Make it you, Sarah. I don't want you to be John Marrone. I want you to be Sarah. But make it yours. Have the confidence and conviction. You got to practice it, obviously, to do that. And then don't put what you think onto your consumer because you will box yourself into a corner. Let's see. And it definitely is, right? And because and this is for anybody, if you're, on the West Coast, you're in the South, you're on the East Coast, there is definitely a difference in energy you got to bring in, a difference in not what you're saying, but how you say it. Right. And so let's see, coach for Wayfair and Airbnb in Boston. It's just regionalism here. Average person is Harvard educated and does not like the salesy thing. I'm not coming off salesy. I'm coming off curious. Hey, I'm just giving you a call to see if you're looking to make a move or you're just browsing. It's not salesy if you do it right. It's not salesy if you do it right. So once again, if they're Harvard educated and doesn't make there's a science. If there's a science and there's an art to it. So I don't want to keep going down this rabbit hole, but you have to have the ability to just make it your own thing, but the concepts remain the same, right? So if I'm calling somebody, I'm not going to sound salesy because I'm confident in that I'm getting curious. Here's the big message here, guys. When you're calling somebody with this script, embody the message, don't embody the script. Embody the message, not the script. And what I mean is that this is the biggest transaction of somebody's life. Okay? Biggest transaction of somebody's life, which means you got to ask some questions that no other agent's going to ask. So you got to get really good at the script to know that we're going 3 levels deep for every single what. And guess what? If they don't want to open up to you, you either do one of 2 things. You either A, obviously got to get better, but here's the other thing. They don't want to open up, say, hey, look, sir, I completely get it. I know it's a lot of questions, but what we found is 86% of home buyers don't think their agent understands their problem. And during the biggest transaction of their life, I think that's an issue. And so we changed our process to really dig deep so we can create a real solution for the real problem. Does that make sense? 95% of the time, they say, dude, I guess I get it. Okay, let's go. Or they say, no, I don't want to answer those questions. And more likely, then you just move on, right? You go to the next one. Follow-up questions don't sense a need to answer, just curious questions. Yeah, Sarah, hit me up offline with that. If they don't want to answer just curious questions, it's just because we're not asking good enough. We're not asking the right way. Believe me, I'm from Jersey and I get it. But the thing is don't put what your thoughts are. I'm not saying these are your thoughts. It's for anybody listening. Don't put your thoughts into somebody else's mind. Okay? But Sarah, let's definitely take it offline because I love having conversations about this. All right. Is this being recorded? Yes, it is being recorded. And if you reach out to training, I think it's, training at cincpro.com or just your success partner, they will go ahead and send it to you. All right. So we have 10 minutes here. So first off, are you guys getting value so far? Have you guys, if you're getting value, let me see some of the takeaways you guys have had so far. Let's take the next 60 seconds, write some takeaways down into the chat. I want to see what's hitting home for you guys. While I take a sip of water. Yes, 3 whys for every what. Listen and understand. Closing this, yes. Stand up. Ooh, there's a lot of coming in. I love it. Love the script. Being a lion. Confidence in the goal before a call. Listen, understand. Not to reply. Why for every what. Failure is a process of elimination. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Yes. All right, good. Things are hitting home. That's what I like to see. So this is what we're going to do. We got 10 minutes left. I want to take 1 or 2 more. So in the Q&A, not the chat, in the Q&A, give me 1 or 2 more challenges that you guys are having. And don't forget, if you have any questions, Instagram's usually the best way to hit me up. And if anybody on Clubhouse, if you don't know what Clubhouse is, on my podcast, I recorded the last episode about what it is and how to monetize and take advantage of Clubhouse. But you guys can hit me up on Clubhouse too. We have some really cool rooms in there. All right. So let's see. I'm just going through these questions. Where do we find these scripts? Once again, guys, the scripts are for when you come to an event. But if you message me on IG, I can go ahead and send you that opening line with that 3 whys for every what. So I can kind of give you that 1 pager. I can send that to you. Let's see. All right. So here's a good one. So it says, can you give us a quick role play example of how to do 3 whys for 1 what? This is really good, I think, because people do this wrong. And what I mean by that is they just 21 question them. So the best way to do the 3 whys for every what is this. So when they say, someone says, what's your IG? I put it in here again. It's in the chat. Real John Marrone is the IG. Real John Marrone, Marrone. All right. So let's do a little role play real quick. So somebody says, I'm looking for 4 bedroom. Remember, I stay there and say, okay, interesting. So why 4 bedrooms? Well, John, we got 2 kids right now, another one on the way, and we're in a 2-bedroom condo. Okay, from here, this is where you got to get really good. I'm listening to understand, not to respond. So I heard he's got 2 kids, 1 on the way, and he's in a 2-bedroom condo. So what you do is you extract information to build a conversation. Example. So they said that. I say, oh, 2 kids and 1 on the way. How old are your 2 kids? 6 and 10. Man, okay. When's the new one due? She's gonna be born March. Right. So first off, found out a little bit of a timeline. Found out a little bit about the kids. Boys or girls? Oh, they're all girls. Now I bring some relativity into it. Yeah. I got 1 girl. She's gonna be 4 soon. I cannot imagine having 3. What that household has looked like, especially in the morning. It's probably going to get worse. So, okay. So you're in a 2-bedroom condo now, right? Yep. Confirming, right? You heard I listened. So tell me, so you want 4 bedrooms. What would that do for you to have 4 bedrooms and be able to have girls have their own room? They all have their own bathroom. It could bring us some peace and some quiet possibly so that they all have their own space. Okay. Awesome. So you guys want some more peace, more quiet. Those 4 bedrooms will allow that to happen? Yeah, absolutely. All right, perfect. What would that mean for you in order to get that? And it would mean the world to me. I can be able to get my work done in peace. Okay, 3 whys that just went. So I'll do it one more time so you guys could hear it. So 4 bedrooms, they tell me. I say, interesting. Why is that important? They break it down. I got 2 kids, 1 on the way. I'm in a 2-bedroom condo. And I stop and I'm listening. I extract information. I talk about their 2 kids. Interesting. You got 2. Awesome. How old are your 2 kids? 6 and 10. Okay. When's the baby due? In March. So are they boys or girls? Man, I got all girls. Then I bring in some humor, some relativity to it, something, right? I don't just let them answer. I have a conversation because the conversation creates the conversion. Then I come back in for a why question. So I extracted information, built the conversation, come back in for a why question, which is interesting. So what would that do for you to have that many bedrooms? He then tells me more, or she tells me more, whatever it is. I build another little bit of a conversation and I come back into a why question. Does that help? And I'm glad you asked that because it's very, very, very important, guys, for us to ask the question of why is that important to you or whatever the case is, right? How many bedrooms? Okay. And why 4 bedrooms? Why this location? And then listen. There's one last tip I'll give you before we wrap up here. So many times, and I'll probably repeat this every call because I think it's so important. How many times are you in the middle of talking to somebody and you're thinking about the next question to ask? Because you're thinking about the next question to ask, kind of lose yourself in the current conversation. How many times are you sitting there and you ask a question, you're like, okay, I'm gonna ask this question next, versus just being present in that conversation? Because people always ask, John, how do I know what next question to ask? Here's what I want you to work on. The next question that needs to be asked unfolds in a current question. I'll repeat it. The next question that needs to be asked is unfolding in the current question you ask them. Well, the only way to figure that out is to stop and listen, right? Is to be there. I love that. Brian said, let them answer the question, and then that question's in there, right? So the next question to ask is being presented in a current question that they're answering. Okay. And that's why I have a problem with prepared scripts. And here's the thing, Robert, prepared scripts are great because you're training your subconscious mind to know what to ask without even thinking about what to ask. Right? Working at mastering your craft, really building in that concept of what to ask, when to ask it, you're training your subconscious mind to be able to be present to then ask those questions as they unfold in front of you. So we're about to wrap up here today, guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Here's what I want you to do. Here's a few things. 1, go to cincommunity.com. Please come. Yeah, where do I get the schedule? cincommunity.com. That's where you're going to get it. Come see us for one of our CINC events. Come see us for a conversion day where we get 33% conversion rate. Number 2, hit me up on Instagram if you need anything, right? Also, I gave you guys my podcast. Go listen to it. You guys should be feeding your brain with content every day that's going to inspire you, that's going to put you into the movement of action. Number 3 is we have a recruiting course. We have a recruiting course. So if you're somebody that needs help with recruiting, okay, I'm going to put this in here just so we have it. Hold on one second for me, guys. If you are somebody that needs help with recruiting in about a month or so, we are going to have another recruiting course. We had one last year. We're going to have another one coming up here. I'm going to put it in here, putting 2 links in here. So look at your chat. Here's a recruiting course. If you guys are looking to get better at recruiting and go through our 8-week course, we have live calls as well as recorded calls to go ahead and how to become somebody that recruits massively and grow your business to last. Go ahead and click that. Also, if you're somebody that's doing 75 transactions or more, we have an exclusive opportunity for you to join our mastermind next month in Vegas. I just put the 2 links in there. The first one is a recruiting course. If you're looking to recruit, to help your business grow, to make it grow exponentially this year and create a business that lasts, go there. If you're looking to get to a live event with some of the best owners in Commissions Inc., go to the mastermind, cincommunity.com/mastermind. We have several seats left, probably about 5 or so, 7 or so. You have to have at least 75 transactions or more, and then we divvy up the group from there, depending on your type of business. Okay. Any questions you have, please let me know. Before we wrap up, did you guys get value? Was it worth your 60 minutes of time today? Right? Was it worth it? Someone just said, hey, John, what's your podcast? I have great hair. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for complimenting me on my hair. That's part of my brand. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to do this again. Right? Next week, I'll be in Phoenix with the rest of the CINC crew. And then next month, we'll be in Atlanta doing it. So please, though, reach out to me if you guys need anything. This is what we're here for. We're here to help your business grow, help you grow, and help take you to a whole new level. So if you need me, please reach out. Otherwise, take what we learned today, take the information and create some kind of implementation. Okay. But if I don't see you, if I don't hear from you, keep creating the ultimate version of you and your business. I'll see you guys next time.